Good morning, 11 o'clockers. What's happening?
Not much.
I'll tell you what's happening. I got 100 on my math test this week. Woohoo!
That's great, McKenna. Good job. Oh, and hi, everybody. It's good to see you all here this morning.
That's the best grade you've ever got, McKenna.
I know.
But this still says F on the top.
I know. I think it must stand for something.
Like flunk.
Like fantastic.
You got a 100, but just how many points was this test worth?
200.
And what part of math were you studying?
Percents. 100. I'm so happy. Last time I only got a 50.
Well, it's good to keep trying and to celebrate your successes and to share your happiness with others. And speaking of sharing, today is 1 great hour of Sharing Sunday.
1 great hour of sharing? What's that?
I'm glad you asked that.
Who's he?
He's the guy who knows the answer to the question you just asked.
It's Jack Amick. He works for the National Office of UMCOR, United Methodist Committee on Relief. He's here visiting our church from UMCOR.
You know, the Methodist organization that responds to emergencies around the world, providing immediate relief when there are disasters. You know, helping people where there are floods or earthquakes, or where people and families and kids are starving and need help fast. That's what UMCOR does. They get there fast. Hi, Jack.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for inviting me.
He doesn't look fast. He just kind of ambled up here.
So Jack, please explain it. What is 1 great hour of sharing?
Well, it's a bit like McKenna's math test.
You got 100 too?
Yep, 100%. You see, once a year we take an offering in Methodist churches around the world called 1 great hour of sharing, like this offering today. And the money collected that day pays for all of our administrative costs for UMCOR for the entire year.
It means you get F's on your test too. High five!
Well, not exactly. It means that because of this one-day offering and because of the generosity of the people here and elsewhere who give on this day, that 100% of every dollar given to UMCOR throughout the year, 100%, all of that, goes straight for the people in emergencies and development projects who need it. 100%. That's an amazing thing. A for amazing.
Wait a minute.
What?
Did you say 1 great hour of sharing?
It is what we've been talking about.
I knew this sounded familiar. 1 great hour of sharing. We always did it back at my home church in Arlington.
Arlington, Texas?
No, Arlington, Virginia. Anyway, at my church every year, we would take an offering for 1 great hour of sharing. All of the kids in the church would save change all year and give it as much as we could to help others. And we were happy to do it. Well, then a little while later, I started helping out teaching Sunday school with like the littler kids. And one year, a new boy appeared who was adopted from the Congo. His name was Johnny. Johnny had been there in the Congo during that terrible civil war between Congo and Rwanda, where many, many people lost their families. And like many of the kids, he had to walk across the country with no adults, trying to be saved. And finally, he ended up being helped by people from UMCOR, who got him safely to a Methodist orphanage. And from the time he was 5 until he was 10, he was raised there in that orphanage, which was run by a woman named Mama Keshwa. And even though those kids didn't have anything, Mama Keshwa would tell them they still had everything, because they had a home, and they knew that God loved them, and that they were growing up loved. And about 5 years in the orphanage, he ended up being adopted by a family in my church when he was 10 years old.
Nice. And just think, some of the money you've given to UMCOR over the years probably helped save that kid.
Yeah. And after he'd been in our church for a year, on the next 1 great hour of sharing Sunday, guess who showed up with the biggest jar of pennies, almost as big as he was?
Donald Trump?
No, Johnny. He said that he could afford it because he was rich. He had everything. Now he had 2 homes, a new one there, and one at the orphanage back in the Congo. He had 2 families, and he was growing up loved and held in God's arms. And he wanted to help others have that chance too.
And that made you 200% happier than you'd ever felt before.
That's good math, Kat. And I've come from UMCOR headquarters to personally thank you and all of you for sharing 100% of your hearts with others. Most of, you'll never meet. For helping give others a chance to grow and be held in God's arms. For being hope, for being UMCOR. And for that, you all deserve an F. For faithfulness, thank you.
And thank you for your work for others too. And now, is this one great hour of sharing or what?
Royce Wilkinson.